Is there a difference between a contractor and an engineer in terms of management?
Everyone can be a contractor, but not everyone can be an engineer.
Research says that most projects that have failed in Uganda, they are owned by women.
So leadership, and women are a bit emotional. They are not sometimes decisive. When they find something, they love it.
What are those key things that when I'm going to start my building or my construction, what are those key things that I should always look at?
The first thing in project management that we see, which you should never ever undermine, is cost.
20 million can finish a house.
Because of competition, people have created bites to convert clients to their way. And that is the side of contractors. Someone tells you that 50 million can finish a 3-bedroom house. And there are videos there where people have bought 50 million and they have stopped on roofing. Try to protect your finances also, because you are going to invest. You don't just give out anyhow the person your phone because it's cheap or what.
Many of you have lost money while constructing. Others have failed to finish their projects while building. Most people say this is because of African magic. Others say it was unplanned for. Today we want to know what is that is making you fail to finish that project. What went wrong? We are back again. This is the Engineer's Corner podcast, where we talk about everything and anything about construction and real estate. We are back again with our engineer, and I would like him to introduce himself.
Thank you so much. Again, this is Timothy Asimwe, civil engineer with over a decade experience in construction here in Uganda and East Africa at large. Thank you for hosting me back on the Engineers Podcasts. And we shall have an interesting time together as we share about today's concern or topic.
Yes, the biggest problem that people are having today, this was a conversation I had with some person, a lady. She was like, she started her project, but unfortunately, she was unable to finish it. And she said, Munai, project yaga na vandoga, bankwatamu. That's the right term to use, bankwatamu. And we want to know, because there are very many people who are having a similar problem, and they are saying the same statement like the one she said. We want to know what really happened, what really happens. Because I know with your experience, you've been with clients, you've had different projects, and some have succeeded with the construction, others have failed. We want to know, how did you make it for those few clients who were able to finish their projects?
Basically, construction, especially people who once started, it is almost rotating about two things. That's leadership and management. Those are the two things that possibly affect many people when they are starting their projects. It starts with them not having good leadership projections on their projects. Two, when it reaches to execution and management, you find that there's a lot of things that are messed up. Then you find there's a lack of coordination between the leadership of the project, then the management of the project that is being executed. So you find that the end product maybe is not met due to deficiency, especially in those two aspects that are common in any project. So basically, that's what I can say, especially on that point. Those two are the most key things that put down most projects, even on governmental level, that would think would be a success if they were properly managed with proper leadership. So that's what I've seen throughout my career.
Okay. Now, there are two things you've talked of, and I would want us to understand what you meant by leadership and management, because I personally, I think that leadership is the same as management.
Yes.
What is the difference in those?
Now, leadership is where someone or an individual, a person, or possibly a government has got a vision that is projected to be executed, then planned, then they make all the processes, then they create a board, a team that is going to help out in its execution. So with leadership, it deals with a projection, the planning, the building of that vision, embarking on it as people who are carriers. Those are the people we call as leaders. All things you see in life that fail, it is due to deficiency in leadership. Because anything to be successful, there must be proper leaders that are going to carry it. If it is a vision, if it is something maybe you want to give the society, it must have a purpose, it must have a proper will, it must have a plan, it must have financing. That's all in leadership. So someone who has got leadership skills, you must actually know that this thing might fail at this percentage, it might take this time. That's all leadership. So leadership is the top core of everything that we see that is succeeding somewhere. Then management is the execution part, where now you have got the vision, you have projected everything, now you are giving it out to specific people, because more of management, we say it is organizing resources like human beings, time, technology, to achieve a set goal or vision. So the leaders now get managers. That's why when we have organizations, we have got those people are leaders. Actually, sometimes we call them vision bearers. They carry that whole thing, but for them, they cannot execute it. They could project so well, then they get those people are so good at management, at execution, at controlling resources. People are good at technology. People are good at materials. They control them. Then they craft them into the other vision. So you find that the project now has become successful because of good leadership, the vision bearers, and then the executors who are good managers, who are going to control people and everything to make sure that the vision goes into press and becomes a success. So that's why most projects fail, because of either poor leadership in the proprietors and poor management in the executors. They usually rotate about that if you see in depth of management and leadership.
On a normal site, who are the people in the positions of leadership and who are the people in the management position?
So on take a normal site for construction, when we narrow it to construction, which is our field, leadership is the more of a client, what a client wants. Or is the vision bearer. Imagine a client wants a 3-bedroom house. Him as an individual is the vision bearer of that. He's the client, he's the financier, he's the one responsible for all errors that will take place. So as a vision bearer, you as an individual have to be prepared enough to execute the project. Because you get a vision, you want a 3-bedroom house, you want an arcade, you want a warehouse, you want a hospital, a school, each other you want, maybe you want rentals. You as an individual, you're a leader or you are the vision bearer of that project. So before even you go outside and tell people, you should be prepared. One, mentally, because you are going for something that is hectic. Sometimes it is the first time for those people. So you have not gone to any construction. So there's a lot of things. Now, if you have not done any construction, it simply means you are going to learn on your project. Learn on the project. Yeah. So expect some errors. Expect some losses because it's your first project. So as a leader, you now have to develop that mental attitude that what you're going to start, you should be able to finish it, or you are willing to finish it, or you are mobile as a leader. Because that is your project. If it fails, you are the one who has failed, not any other person. Now, the management part are the people you are going to give to execute that vision of yours on your behalf. Because like that lady you talked of, even if you have got a good vision, possibly you want a house, you want whatever you want, she might not have that ability to go and carry a bag of cement, mixer and everything. No, she has to get someone, she has got to get an architect who's going to get the vision, puts it on paper, Then he gets a base of quantities from a quantity surveyor who calculates what is required. Then he gets a contractor who's maybe a civil engineer who has to do the doing of the works on ground, Then he has to get either, even if the project is so wide, you have to get a project manager. Now that's where even management becomes bigger on a larger scale, on large projects. You have to get a project manager, a person who's going to organize all team. The MAP, that is mechanical, electrical, and plumbing coordinator. Then you get clerk of works, the civil engineer. Then the whole system becomes a management team. So the other one becomes a vision bearer, who is a leader. Then this is a management team. So these two have to combine so that you have a successful project. So that is how sites can be successful and some sites don't be successful.
Is there a difference between a contractor and an engineer in terms of management?
Yeah, there could be a difference because everyone can be a contractor, but not everyone can be an engineer. Because engineering, you have to study it. There's no shortcut. According to the laws of Uganda, you have to go for 4 years. Then after that, go and do your mentorship, go through the system and be registered. Because we have got the way you become an engineer in our country, you are rated by the Engineers Registration Board, and that's how you get a title for being an engineer. But anyone else can be a contractor. Actually, many people are contractors, not engineers. Because you have to go for 4 years, get a degree in a recognized university, then get registered for you to call yourself an engineer. But being a contractor, anyone who can afford to execute the works can be a contractor. So that's the difference in project management.
So which means that the work of a contractor is different from the work of an engineer.
Yeah, the work of a contractor can be different with the work of an engineer based on the position. Because even an engineer can be a contractor at the same time, or a contractor might not be an engineer. You find that it's just a contractor. Because we see many people who are contractors in our field, and they're executing good projects. And they didn't study anything about engineering. They either learned on the job, or they are good at acquiring big projects, and they give boys to work and they look after them. And he says, me, I'm a contractor. I'm a real estate developer, So that is it. But an engineer, if you are going to be an engineer, possibly a structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, you must have gone to the university. Then you go through the system and you learn the skill of engineering in that gazetted area.
As for your experience, you've been in the construction business for quite a long period of time. And I know along the way you've had projects that have failed to get to completion. What were the experiences that you had in those projects, and what went wrong during that process of construction?
During the process of construction, especially projects where we failed, some of the projects was due to finances. The clients failed to get proper finances. In one scenario, this client, his friends told him that he could build a house which was stored with 77 million. A storied house.
Storage house.
So it's a 5-bedroom house.
Finished.
Even a friend assured him that for me, this is the way I built my house. I spent 77 million. First, we calculated the base of quantities, and the house was going for 250 million. And we gave out to this client that, but our bills say that this house would cost you around 250 million to completion. He says, no, my engineer and my friends assured me with 77 million, this house would be finished. Even he told me that the house he did at his place was 77 million. So he said, you're a good contractor, you're my friend, you have done a lot of things. So everything that is going to be bought here, I know you engineers, you are thieves. It seems you are planning to steal my materials. So this client is like, I'll buy every material of mine, bring it on site, and I'll give a scar to you guys who protect my materials. So your work is to construct. So he says, me, I know the man I have. Don't mind for you be ready to execute. So we did the project from foundation, did everything about materials. When we reached on the slab, the client went bankrupt.
Ayabika. Yeah.
The client had kept actually 77 million and stopped on the first floor slab.
Wow.
The house wouldn't be finished. So that is how that client failed and stopped there. It took him 3 years to finish his project. 3 years. Because we had given him a right estimate, which was 250 million. He prepared for 77 because someone convinced him that the house would cost 77 million. So that was one of the projects that we failed on because the client underestimated the cost of the project and insisted on advice from the friends.
He had wrong information.
So that is one of the projects that I really failed on and I had given the client the right advice and I was there. Then another project which I was actually invited to see on the failure. This client, for him, it was a different scenario. We did a structural design. After doing a structural design, the client got his own contractor. We are not part of the people we are actually contracting. Then we specified bars that were supposed to be put in that structure. When the client reached there, he told his contractor that these people who designed the structure over-designed. These guys don't know what they are doing. They don't know the cost of materials. So he told him, me, the bars I bring are the one you're going to use. What we had used T12 and T16, the guy bought T10. Poor quality. And unfortunately, they had reached on the second floor, the structure collapsed.
Wow.
So it's another project I saw failing. The client had spent a lot of money on it. They were casting it. And when they moved the props, the slab could not stand because of under-designing caused by the client. So we went there to evaluate what was the cause of the structure. Good enough didn't kill anyone. It just collapsed itself, failed to carry the weights. And we discovered that the quality of materials that we were using were poor quality. The ratios were totally poor quality. And the issue was from the contractor and the client. Because the design that was given to them was not followed. So I saw that project totally fail. The client got demoralized, left the project, and for him, he used to say that he has been doing projects on that same caliber, but every project is not similar to the other. I tell people that you could have even a simple house, which is almost similar to your friend, but it has a span of 80 meters, and it is different from the other span, which was 5 meters. So bars for a span of 80 meters are entirely different from those of 5 meter span. So that is where I saw also a project that when it is failing. Another scenario that I saw, it is where we designed a certain school and we recommended the solid slab. Later the client opted for a max span slab. And in that project, the slab deflected. The middle of the slab deflected. Why? People when they changed the drawing from a solid slab to a waffle slab, they did not invite us for a redesign. That's what we encompass the waffle slab design. So by the time we came and we invited and the project was failing, we had to rectify it. And I remember we had to redesign it with the waffle slabs. Then we saw the load transfers and everything. By that one, the client actually called us when it is earlier when you got problems and we were able to rectify it. We did the structural integrity. Then we created small reinforcement in the middle of the span where it was deflecting, and the project continued and did its purpose. So there are projects that have failed in my course when I'm saying, but most of the times it is due to incompetence of clients and the contractors, convincing them that for them they have got expertise of doing projects and this is what I want. And he doesn't listen to either the designers or the consultants, and the clients do what they want.
But sometimes I also think that we may not blame the clients, may not put the blame on the clients too much because of the information that we are having. We are having a lot of information about construction. We're having different sources. Someone may come and it's like, this one works better than the other one. But as a client, we always look at the project owners. You always look at price reduction. How am I going to save? Now, someone comes with an idea and is like, this one, if you do this this way, it may save you somehow. Now, that pushes clients to want to opt for maybe ways that are not really applicable in a given situation. So for clients, where should they get the right information if they are going to make any change?
Most of the times we advise these clients, the purpose, that's why I was telling you that why most projects fail, they start with leadership. There's nothing you benefit if you invest trying to save and the project fails to deliver the purpose.
The purpose, exactly.
Because we saw the government abolishing the timber welding methodology of construction of solid structures.
Composite.
The composite of that timber and steel. Because when you see the depth of its engineering, it was not tiring. Because there's no way you can get a different material which has no specifications and you tie it on a certain material which also has no specifications and you think it is going to yield in something that is going to carry people. So you saw some projects, actually most of the projects were failing after they have been executed. Now imagine you are halfway the project because you want save and it fails or the government stops it. So you end up actually losing more. What I would advise client most of the times that let's get advice from professionals, people who have studied these things. At some time, if you're going to invest more than 10 million, at least ask this person who is convincing you of his methodology. What has he done? Have you tried to study something about it? Is he an expert on it? At least show us 2 or 3 projects you have used that methodology or that thing, and it should have been approved by the government. Let it not be like, I did this project, I did this project. What is the proof? Is his name there on that project? Can you go and inquire from that owner that this person participated? And what was the position for this person? Also, I was seeing they steal projects. Like he says, I've not did Mapera, or I not did where the people who did the foundation, I was there. What is the proof that that person was there? That's why sometimes when we are bidding for works, they ask us for certificates of completion from those previous projects we have done, or they ask us for recommendation letters from those previous clients we have done for work. So you can go on and you see these implementers, especially contractors, they are good at convincing you how they are affordable. Ask them what they have done, the recommendations from those people, visit those projects, ask their owners if this person was the real person who executed it. If it is maybe a company, ask for their documents for registration, check their offices, see how genuine they are, so that you have something that is a thorough, that is going to do for you something great. So me, this is what I would advise all clients. Try to protect your finances also, because you are going to invest. You don't just give out anyhow the person you have found because it's cheap or what. It is what people do, and that's what we do at our company. And people come and do due diligence. We show projects we have done, those for private clients, for government, who have participated, who have been subcontractors, what we did and certificates of completion. Then we are all on the same page so that you know that the person you are giving out your project is really tested, is a professional, and is going to deliver the best for you. So that's what I would advise our clients.
Sometimes also the contractors, they big role in people's failure. Someone told me one time that he was going to build it was a 4-bedroom house. Then he was like, million with 20 millions, a 4-bedroom house is completed.
Yes.
So sometimes also the contractors or the engineers, I don't know which type of engineer can tell someone that 20 million can finish a house. Really?
Yeah, because of competition, people have created bites to call upon or to convert clients to their way. And that is the side of contractors. So I've seen them so much, especially on social media. When people are lying, they lie vividly. Someone tells you that 50 million can finish a 3-bedroom house. And there are videos there where people have got 50 million and they have stopped on roofing themselves. And even it tells I didn't even do the ceiling. even when the houses are in the village. But because this young man or this contractor is looking for the way he gets any client who can give him some money for labor, he has no option but to lie about the truth. So that is also another way on projects that have failed. Contractors usually deceive on the quantities, and for them they say, for you bring your materials as long as you give us what? Our labor. For them they say, $1,200,000 or 20 million we finish this house. But really, 20 million, what type of house is that? Is it a toilet? I've ever tried to build a gate house with 7 million and I failed. And it was my gate house. I ended up spending 10 million. Now, how can you do a 3-bedroom house with 20 million? At what level? They are not even clear what level are you talking of. Is it when it is finished? So when they start with the clients, I say, I was meaning on the beam level. And he tell me, I didn't tell you the roofing.
Yes.
So we have got that problem in the field now currently, whereby people are rushing to get clients and they can do all it takes to ensure that he carves in any client. They lie about prices, they lie about bills of quantities, they lie about everything to make sure they converge inside. Already you start something and you end up when you cannot handle it. So also clients have to be really keen on which person they are choosing. Also, we have measures of how you can get to know the costs of housing. If I've done 3 houses and each house is taking 75 million up to roofing, 80, I cannot tell you that the 4th house will be 30 million. I would tell you the truth as an engineer. I'd rather leave you and say you go. Because telling you wrong information will make us hate each other. We start the project, it ends up in the middle way, and you find you cannot deliver it. So that is what I can advise clients to focus on.
Excellent. For those of you who are looking for construction materials, don't forget to check on www.akbuildug.com. And if you want to get a house plan for yourself, this is a self-service platform. Just go on your Google, type www.akbuildug.com. You're going to serve yourself. You will have construction materials. You will have house plans ready for you. And don't forget to check on AkBuildUG on TikTok. We are also there for those of you who are looking for house plans. And those who want construction, we also do construction at AkBuild. Engineer, there was some information that we were getting from clients. A client comes and is like, I went to someone who's a builder and he was telling me building a 3-room house, it is going to cost me 30 million. Now, on coming to us, you show him that probably that house would cost you around 70 million. This person goes with the other, probably the other engineer because it's cheaper. Now, on execution, where we were saying 3-bedroom, the other one was saying 3 rooms. Now, in such a scenario, I would like you to put more light on that point of the house sizes, because very many people don't know. Someone may come and write probably that I'm going to maybe build for you a 3-room house. And most people think that it is a 3-bedroom house. What's the difference between a 3-roomed house and a 3-bedroomed house?
So most of the times when we talk of a bedroom, actually that is why we usually ask clients or architects to always simplify things for clients. Or people design plans to simplify things for clients. Because for us, in our language of design, we understand if someone talks of a bedroom, it does not mean that that's a house with 1 bedroom. It simply means it's a house with a bedroom plus other utility rooms, which could be a kitchen or a store or a dining or a lounge or a sitting room. So a bedroom must have other utility rooms. So you should be specific on what you are designing. What is the composition of your plan? At least you tell him it is 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a store, dining, and a lounge. Because now even some people don't differentiate a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom what? house.
Yes.
Because some people think that a 2-bedroom is a double room house.
Yes.
But because in the normal language of ours or to market, we know a double room, sengediro, plus maybe a store.
Yes.
But that is a 1-bedroom house plus other facilities. So for me to simplify the whole thing, I would tell that let us always explain the composition of the house as it is. A 1-bedroom, a kitchen, a dining, and a store. So that the client understands the scope you are giving out. If you say it's a 3-bedroom house, it means it is 1 bedroom, maybe another bedroom, maybe for children and kids, then a master bedroom, which is wide, plus a dining, a kitchen, a store, and also the sitting room, plus other shades, so that these people understand the scope of the house. That is how we explain to our clients at our office, so that they understand the composition, other than giving it a name. So even in the storage structures, people don't differentiate a 2-level structure and a 2-story structure. So but first we simplified it. It's like it is ground plus 1 level or 2 levels or 3. So you know that you have a ground floor, then other levels that are on top of it. So the client can easily identify. Because you tell me these are 3 levels. It says how many karina kasatu? Or these are 2 stories. So it's differentiated, it doesn't differentiate a story and a level. But if you simplify, say that it's a ground floor plan plus other levels on top of it, maybe 2 of them, that is 3 levels at total. So we can look for the way we communicate with our clients so that they understand and we don't confuse them, even in base of quantities.
But it seems that some engineers are so using that tactic, to lure clients to come and they fail, because we've seen very many people failing, and this has been largely women who have been victims of such kind of business. Someone tells you a 3-room, now the client thinks it's a 3-bedroom. Research says that most projects that have failed in Uganda, they are owned by women. What do you think may have been the problem?
Most of the times, of course, it's on leadership, and women are a bit emotional. They are not sometimes decisive. When they find something, they love it. Like they don't go ahead and say, this is my guy, this person's going to construct for me. They don't do that.
So they
overtrust someone. But some people have built and they have gone through 1 project or 2, even if they are women, they have understood engineering. By the way, engineering or construction knowledge, do 1 project, you're good to go. The issue is the first timers, by the way. The first timers. For that, you have to accept losses sometimes. You have to accept to learn. But after doing 1 project, you almost know the source of everything. You know where to get answers, you know where to get everything. By the time you do a 2nd, 3rd project, if you get a woman, we have got 1 woman who is in Entebbe, who was building a storage house. She knows everything. She knows how to get bars, she knows how to get VAT, she knows how to dodge VAT, she knows how to reclaim her VAT, she knows which company has good bars, which one has bad bars, she knows which company supplies cements, how to get cement. You cannot deceive her on anything. Which company has blocks, because she has been doing construction. So not necessarily women that have actually made all those losses, but the first timers, all of them, even men, they usually get issues because it is new knowledge that is coming to you. You're excited about construction, your first house, everything that you see is exciting you. So you don't, but after you do 1 project,
you have paid your school
you
fees.
paid the fees and you are good to go. With the next project, you are really so sharp. No one can stop you. That is what I've seen with most developers.
Now, in construction, there are very many things that we look at, especially in management. And there are those key factors that really, if that has not been availed, the project is going to probably stop for a long period of time. What are those key things that when I'm going to start my building or my construction, what are those key things that I should always look at and I should always make sure that they are available come what?
The first thing in project management that we see, which you should never ever undermine, is costs. Factor number one. You're going to start any project. Try to do all it takes to know the cost of the project. Never start and you say, I will see when we start. No. Because in the construction, you have many chances of having at least a right estimate. Actually, we call it estimation and tendering. It is not exact, but it's an estimate. So the first factor in construction where people go wrong, it is getting the cost. Get to know the cost of that thing from the beginning to the end so that you can be able to control it. Then the factor number two you have to consider is the time. Now, when I know the cost, what time am I giving myself to execute the scope? Yeah, I've known the house. I've always told the people that a 3-bedroom house, get it from me, it costs between 100 to 300 million when it is finished. If you use normal materials and you squeeze everything, white iron sheets and everything, you end up actually spending like 90 million sometimes. Because you have to put tiles, meaning when it is fully complete with all its resources, the toilet and the compound and everything. So now, if I know the costs, possibly average a good house is around 250 million. And I know the cost, that's the cost of the house. Now, I can say, with my finances, I can give it 2 years or 3 years. It is why you see people taking 4 years to build the house. It is not that they don't want to finish it.
It is a plan.
It is the planned, actually it is the cost requirement.
Cost requirement.
That person cannot hand a house in 1 year. You're earning 4 million. You can't do a house in 1 year if that is your fixed salary because you have kids and everything. Because a year that's roughly 48 million. But the house is 250 million. So you end up trying to scale it to 2, 3, or 4 years. That is the time scale. That I know the cost. I cannot kill myself. Let me do my house in phases. Then it takes longer to achieve my dream. Then another thing we see, I know the time, I've got their cost. Now there are materials. How do I organize my materials? Because materials are the one you organize to get that shape. So you should give focus on material sources, bargaining, to see that you get the right materials, what type of quality do you want, because that is what will determine the end product you have. The other house you love for your neighbor, it is not because it is either small or it was done beautifully. That client or that friend of yours got the right materials that he used. Either has got good tiles, he has got good designs, he has got everything that is quality. Then you feel you love that house. Even you take photos, I say, I'll do this house. Get to know where you got the materials and also you get the materials. Of course, another point you focus on in management is the labor, to execute and organize those materials. Because when that labor is the quality of labor you get, the type of labor, the cost of the labor will determine your project. So those are the factors we see more so when we are in construction management, for you to have a project when it is fully complete. And the last, which is the last, of course, is management, to ensure that all these materials are put into organization, they are well planned, you have the plans, you have everything, you have the vision, so that they see each and everything coordinating, then you're able to execute your project and to what? It becomes a success. So those are the main things that we focus on, especially in project management when we want a project to be successful.
For those of you who are looking for quality materials, please check on www.akbilugg.com where you're going to get the best quality materials with the best prices from certified suppliers. Engineer, we've talked of more of management from the side of the client. Now, as an engineer, as a profession, how do you see management? How do you organize your site as a manager on site?
So site management on an engineering level, it is a bit broad because now there you're already trusted with a project. And as a project manager, you're supposed to execute it in a specific timeline that is set. So there's a lot of things that you have to see at. Most of the time we see site organization. That's the one thing that we see. Material mobilization, how you are going to source your materials, bring them to the site, organize them properly, You find that every corner has got its own materials. That's site organization. We usually start about that. Then we see how you are going to do the setting out of the project. Then you have got programs that we use as engineers in setting out timelines, the Gantt chart, what we call sequencing of the project. What comes first? How long will it take? What are the timelines for each activity? And how do I hit it? Then after that, we have what you call site organization, whereby you organize the team that is going to remain executing each part, where we create departmental levels. You have got maybe people are going to focus on the efficiency of works, the clerk of work is on the ground. You have got the project manager put on the ground. You have got the MEP coordinator, person going to coordinate the mechanical, electrical, and the plumbing team. So that each and everything, then you have porters, the lower executors, then you have got maybe possibly the marshals. Then you have all that diagram of how I'm going to execute my project. It is more of organizing each and every detail so that the project comes out. So as a site manager, I have a bigger job to organize all the entities and make sure that we are coordinating to build up and put that project to success. So those are the some of the areas we see on project management. Then we do reports for the clients to ensure that they are clear. They know progress reports. Then we prepare certificates. There are some projects whereby they pay per certificate of closing in every stage. So when we do all that, it helps us in condensing a project. So as a site manager, those are the things that we see when we are doing management upon being given any contract or job for execution at any given time.
In terms of project management on site, how far do you go in problem solving? Because sometimes you may find that you're having problems on site, probably. How do you manage those, and how far do you go in managing those problems?
So we have different types of management. For example, lean management, whereby we share risks that are involved with the client. So you have to always follow what your contract is saying or what you agreed with the client. Because there are parts you can handle, for example, insurance for workers at site. If they get accidents, we usually insure workers at that scope so that you can control them. So every problem that is under your contract, you should be able to handle as an engineer. Because there are problems that come at site. For example, maybe workers get accidents. You find that sometimes it has rained and materials are destroyed. Is you, the engineer, was supposed to organize those materials, might end up getting the losses. Then you find that maybe there's deficiency in execution of works. Somewhere you did some wrong. Maybe you left someone who didn't understand. The client comes and says, I made this was not part of my plan. You have to break it. That one is under you as an engineer. So there are many things that under your contract that they give you in terms of and conditions of a contract whereby you are going to handle. There are those risks that are handled by the client. For example, materials are being being transported and their car gets an accident and they are bought by the client. So he's the one who's going to liaise with the manufacturers to see how he recovers. But now, if the engineer was the one buying materials, it is you, the engineer, who's going to liaise with the manufacturers to ensure you look for the way you cover those losses. Yes. So we have to usually follow what are the terms and conditions of your execution contract so that you are able to be in your line and you don't conflict with other people or stakeholders in the project.
In terms of contracts, are these contracts the same? When you look at probably the bill of quantities for the project where you share risks and the project where you don't share the risks?
The contracts are usually different because we have different setups of contracts based on what you agree with the client. It could be a turnkey contract whereby someone agrees that I'm giving this house, I want it finished. How much million? 1 billion. You sign. These are the conditions. Possibly I'll come test my house, ensure that my house is fully done and everything. And they will agree on payment terms. Possibly I'll give you 30% deposit. When you do 40% of works, I'll do 30-30. Then that's a turnkey contract. But we could have a labor contract whereby the material is being purchased by the client, then for you are delivering labor. So your whole focus is on how labor is going to execute the project. Then you could have different types of contracts which are available. So it deals with what setup you have gone with. If you find a contract involves the client sharing risks with you, then that's what you go with. But if you find a contract is where you take all the risk and you handle everything, then that is still what you go with. So that is basically what will happen. There are different types of contracts that we have based on which client you have and what type of project you're executing and the time scope and the intents of that project.
I was asking that because we have some engineers, young engineers and contractors who are having questions that in case of an issue rising on site, who's supposed to cover up? Sometimes you find that maybe during the execution of the work, maybe somewhere they used the wrong material and now they are asking themselves who should take the blame.
It comes back to the type of contract you adopted. Who brought the material?
The client.
Why didn't you refuse the material?
That's what the client wanted.
So that's what we do. If a client, you tell him we are supposed to use SEM2 to cast, but for you insisting, let's use SEM4 because it's what I can afford. Now we have what we call an instruction book sometimes. I can tell the client that we are going to cast with this SEM4, but let's write the instruction. If any difference comes due to this material you are giving us, we are not liable. He signs. So I keep my document. If there's any deflection or failure, or people come to do integrity and refuse to give you an occupation, I say, sir, remember the leaflet with saying that you said I should use the materials you give me and take the defect liability for it. So with that, you're off that. But if the client has also given you money and you buy wrong materials, then you take also responsibility. That's why sometimes on most projects when you're doing a contract, they give you a liability time where you have to take control of your liabilities of the defects that come with your project. Sometimes it's 6 months. You see, for us at office, when we do for you a project, we give you 6 months. If anything breaks down the 6 months of occupancy, we repair it at free cost. It's one thing that we give out. Because we are sure of the materials we have used, we are sure of the people we have used, their quality. So we should always know as contractors, what is that thing that is being a failure coming from who and why? Was it written that these materials are going to be built by the client or you? So that we know each person remains in his own lane without conflicting. So basically that's what I would advise those contractors.
That goes to each and every contractor out there. When you executing that project that you were given, please always document whatever you are doing on site. Whatever decision you make with the client, always have proper documentation of what you've agreed on with the client. And please, if you're looking for high quality construction materials, don't forget www.acbuildug.com, where you're going to get the best quality materials at the best prices in the market. For this, trust us, we are going to give you the best quality materials. And for those of you who are looking for engineers who are going to build for you, who are affordable, who are reliable, who are tested, approved, and trusted, please go check on ArcBuild UG. We have the best engineers and reliable, trusted. You know, a problem comes in with engineers sometimes when they are doing their work. Sometimes you find engineers, they are those engineers that are not trusted. Because one time I was moving around and I found a client who was sitting on site. It was around 2 p.m. That is during the day, working hours of the day. I asked this client, mnyabo, ngo tude kusaya munai. Otawa tulira banene mitayimba bagenda najo. You know? So there are people who do this work on top of being paid. They are not trusted. You can't trust them. They stress you.
That's true.
Yeah. As a person who's experienced, how can someone overgo that whereby you are having people you don't trust? What can you do? And they are the people who are available.
Of course, what we should advise clients, already you have employed people you don't trust. try your level best to be the one to provide security. Let the security of the site be on you. Material control and protection be on you. You control your material so that you don't feel left out in your project. If you fail to get people you can trust, then you control, at least get the security people from your side. Let them be available on your project. Let them control each and everything. Let them write every bag of cement that is leaving the store. Let them follow up and see that it has been used. Put a clerk of works from your side to supervise on your behalf. Nowadays we have where you can get a team that can manage for you the project. If you are not available, you are so busy. So that your worries are all settled. You can be part of the management team of the project and you don't leave it for the entire engineer you feel that you can't trust. But still, there are those engineers who are trusted that are available, also contractors, especially those who are already established. And they have done something for themselves and they are not willing to kill their names. But since you have those, maybe you trust because they're the ones available, then you have to involve in management and control of the materials, which you are more skeptical about.
And also the other thing is about the supervision. Supervision and management. What's the difference?
Management is on a large scale and supervision is part of management. Because supervision is one of the smaller items that are under management, which helps out in checking out the quality, the execution, the processes of works that are being done.
You know why I'm asking that? Because most clients don't understand and don't know the value of a supervisor. Because you may tell this person, probably we are going to design for you a plan and we also do the supervision. Now someone is like, me, I'll do it myself. I'll do my supervision myself. So people don't know the use or what role does a supervisor play on a site when they are building.
So the role of a supervisor is to, actually now on management, a supervisor would be a consultant representing the clients. So our client, a person who helps the client understand.
Yes.
And sometimes that's why we say an architect or someone who designed. Because we believe that by the time you finish the design process, you and the client have got a lot of meetings, you have got a lot of interactions, you together understand the project and the client feels you are the person who can represent him where he is not technical. So it is how we get the supervision team or people who overlook the project on behalf of the client.
Yes.
Even the government has got people who overlook the project on the behalf of the government, and those are building inspectors. They also are sent by the government to go and see this project that is being executed, where they are following what we designed and approved at the council or at approval levels on behalf of the government. So on the larger scope projects, that one you can't miss it out. Much as sometimes clients who do small projects, they feel they can do that scope for themselves. And that's why sometimes they mess up or you find their changes are there. But I believe that if you have good supervising team and you have got that as part of your management team from the side of the client, it can contribute on the success of the project. Because the intent of the real project will come out vividly and each one will see it, that the thing that was designed was executed on the ground.
As a person who is experienced, because I know you've had a few projects of your own, as someone who has built, as someone who is an engineer, how can you organize, in summary, how do you organize your team? As a project owner, how do you organize your team that is going to do for you the work?
So me, the way I organize my team, one, I have got a design team. There are people who are going to get my vision and put it on paper, make artistic impressions and everything. After that, we take those drawings to the council for certification, whereby the drawings include architectural drawings, structural drawings, mechanical drawings, electrical drawings. Then we have got geotech for the storage structures, and all drawings are certified by competent structural engineers who are registered. Then after that process, I have got my approved drawings. I have each and everything. I've got a building team, which is led by a foreman or a contractor. So I give him the drawings that were certified from the council. He does bills of quantities. Then I get a different quantity surveyor who does also the bills. Then I compare the two. Because already this is my team, the construction team. Then I compare with the different quantity surveyor to see where there are differences. Where they are, of course, I'm not changing my building team. I sit them down. Why did this person come up with 100 bags for you say 200? Each one explains to me his methodologies. Then I get to understand, because what I want here is just understanding. Then after that, we agree. Then I give to the purchase department for materials. The company has got a hardware. We give to the people here the hardware purchase materials. They purchase materials from competent sources and manufacturers. Then there are the people responsible for taking them to the site. Then of course I create a site keeper, store keeper, who receives all the materials and is the one who's supposed to control the materials that have come in the store and the that are leaving. Every week he has to give me updates. If we bought 100 bags, how many do we use per day and how many are left? If we use this 10 per day and I bought 100 for 5 days, that's 50. So we're left is 50. I go and confirm myself if the 50 are still there. These boys can steal cement and they go and take some knowledge. So you have to always follow them. Also, they feel like if you come and calculate materials, say, our engineer is very serious. He always come. So they will not tamper with materials. Then after that, the foreman remains and helps out to build a team of masons and other leaders on site and everything. Then we have a complete team. They execute the project. Then I come and do supervisions and confirm what has been done until we finish the project. That is how I would organize, and this is how I usually organize my projects, and they have been successful in all that we have done.
As a contractor and engineer, how would you organize your team?
As a contractor, as an engineer, the way I organize my team is to first identify the scopes that we are going to do. Then I get team gangs or team leader gangs, people who are good at that scale. I get the best electrical engineer, best plumbing engineer, then I get the best possibly mason or mason who's going to do the masonry team. Then I get the best hardworking porter who's going to do the helpers team. Then I get the foreman who is possibly a degree holder. Then I make sure that each of those people have led that team. That they are so there are the people that I will see to be accountable for everything that is being done in the departmental execution. So that we have everything perfect.
Yes, we've had a very long conversation about the problems and the reasons why most projects have failed to reach completion stage. As you've heard from the best person, the right person, someone who's experienced, who has been in the business for quite a long period of time. With that, I hope you've understood and you won't go wrong about that next time. Don't forget www.acbuildug.com, where you're going to get the best and the highest quality of materials with the best prices. And for those of you who want to start construction, this is where you're going to start your journey from, because on this platform, we have house plans. Remember, when you're going to start building this year, the first thing you will need, it is a house plan. It's going to help you to plan how you're going to finance your project, how you're going to execute your project, because with a house plan, you will have the breakdown of what is going to happen, and also it helps you to map yourself. How am I going to get this? How am I going to do this? With that, we remain the Engineer's Corner podcast, where we talk about everything and anything about construction and real estate. Have a nice one.